in Yama, Ahimsa Satyam Brahmacharya Parigraha Ahimsa will be easily described. Satyam is another subject which is very difficult to explain. Any amount of explanation leaves it incomplete. Above all the Shastras, above all the Vidyas, above all the emotions, above all the avasthas, statuses, that which remains is called Satyam. How is it possible to explain from Vachyartha a few sentences? But it's a trial to have drawing some inference. Materialism, people who are living in materialism, it's very difficult to understand the status of truth. Satyavastha. What is that Satyavastha? Satyam. That which is existence. Ultimately, that alone can be called as Satyam. That Brahma Satyam, Brahma Tattvam is Brahma Satyam. Brahma Dhyanam is Satyam. Brahman is Satyam. Existence is Satyam. That which is not seen and that which cannot be manifested is Satyam. Which cannot be manifested. It has to remain as unmanifest only. From the Satyam nothing can be manifested. No manifestation can be done. So you can imagine now how to explain such a status through few words and languages that we have learned. It's not possible. So that magnitude and that the level that cannot be reached by a normal mind is Satyam. But in day-to-day life also, similarity of Satyam is practiced so that ultimately one reaches the status of Satyam, that's all. So long the Sharira is there, activities are there, functions are there, karmas are there, kartavyas are there, the absolute experience and meaning of Satyavastha cannot be understood. No. It is not possible. Because this Satyavastha is surrounded by so many manifested akaras and vikaras. It is projected to one's mind, or it is visual seen by a mind only through these manifestations. But what to do? We have to understand something about it. So many shastras, many tattvas, many great people have explained it in different ways. So that the listener has to ultimately derive the right meaning. That's all. Left to him actually. That's the truth. Because the truth is that the status at which you will reach as the last point, goal, that's the status of truth. Any other things are manifestations. Any other path is manifested path. All the paths are manifested only, no doubt. That's why we call it as path. So long it is path, existence cannot be understood. The truth cannot be understood. Yes, one can understand, as Adi Shankara has said. Once you have the capability of the true renunciation, that means the true understanding of life, the true understanding of Jeevatma. We spoke on the birth of Jeevatma, how it is born and how it is evoluted. This is another class we have explained it in detail, how it travels through the status of the Dhyanam before the Samadhi. Just while attaining the Samadhi in the Dhyanam, you definitely reveal the truth. That's why it is known as understanding of the truth is not known. It is known as the revelation of the truth. Like the revelation of the self, revelation of the Atma, revelation of the Brahman, revelation of the truth. That's all. Revealing the truth. Truth cannot be created by anyone, because that which cannot be created cannot be explained also. It is not manifested. So the true meaning of truth, what I am talking about, is that which is not perceivable by the normal common mind, which is entangled into the materialistic approach, or where it is filled with emotional attachments and attractions and activities, can never have the true reflection or true image of the truth, the Satya Avastha. Sharira itself is not the Satya. Mana is not Satya. Vichara is not Satya. None of the thoughts are Satya. None of the vikaras are Satya. None of the things that you are seeing is Satya. None of the things that you are hearing is Satya. None of those you are understanding is Satya. Then what is Satya? Because these instruments of organs and intellectual capabilities cannot understand Satya. Then what is Satya? Then how the Satya is known to one? Satyam has to be experienced. It is not heard, it is not seen, it is not told, it is not experienced. It is experienced. Satyam is a status that to experience it. That's Satyam. That's the truth actually. The Brahman is the Satyam, so the Brahman has to be experienced. That's called Satyavastha. Then, yes, the similarities has to be brought. Now what is Satyam for a person, for an individual, for a sannyasi, for a rishi, for a Grihastasrami, for a Jeevatma? What is Satyam? Is why this has been brought down to manifested Vakyartha of Satyam, where we draw an inference like we do not know what is God, what is Brahman. So we have, through the inference, we understand in the physical body and physical mind, through we experience that Brahman. Like a person who has not seen Brahman, who has not understood Brahman, but by explanations he draws an inference and feels, okay, this is something like this is called Brahman. Same way, the truth also can be understood only in that manner. Exact meaning of the truth cannot, I personally don't. It is explained in many ways by many people, many ways. Even Patanjali says that which is the truth that you think which is, Patanjali says, but not the other Shastras, in Bhagavad Gita or any other Upanishad has not told this. But Patanjali has told that the truth which is told by which it creates a calamity should not be told. The truth cannot be told at all times, because that creates a disharmony in this system. Should not be told, is what he says. So the question of function of the truth is not compulsory as far as Patanjali is concerned. Patanjali gives an option there. Don't tell the truth if it creates a problem. Better to keep quiet. So silence is better. Silence is better. Do not. Impartial decision. Witnessing. Impartial decision. Now, many things appears to be an impartial decision, which actually is cowardness. Out of cowardness, sometimes it appears that, oh, it is a very impartial decision taken. That's a cowardness actually. It is because cowardness expressed in that. Many decisions taken by politicians, government, and many rajas, mantris, others, especially democracy, when you call it as democracy. In democracy, a lot of fluctuations are necessary. In democracy, you have to please the people. People should be happy. So for that, sometimes that which is injustice, it can be applied as dharma. As dharma can be changed according to that. So it will appear to be a democratic decision which is pleasing the people, and it cannot be. It is a cowardness of implementation of the truth actually. Because by implementing the truth, there will be calamities, there will be unwanted situation. So that he is scared that such a calamity should be avoided. So he decides something and says that, oh, it is a wonderful, intelligent decision that he has taken, very democratic decision he has taken, and it is because of the cowardness of not able to face the results of the application of the truth. You understood now the truth? What is the truth then? Then what is the truth? That is why this truth cannot be understood by and cannot be implemented by those who are in the materialistic way of living. It is not possible. Then what? We can function very close to that. Very close to that is what we are trying to. So that when the mind and the sharira and the mind and the intellect, when practices it as the ultimate edge of the meaning of the truth can be practiced through the way of living, during the process of Dhyanam, then reaching the Samadhi, it becomes much easier for that Jivatma to transform into Samadhi very easily, because he had been living more or less in the shadow of the truth. May not be in the truth, but in the shadow of the truth. So this is what we are trying to. This is the true Satyavastha. That's all what I would say. Now we will understand what is the truth for, in general, for the Grihastasramis, how to function. This is what has to be understood. But the truth, the absolute truth, this is the absolute truth. This cannot. This has to be experienced. In every sense it has to be experienced. You have to experience the present status of you, first of all. You have to remain absolutely emotionless. There should be no emotions influencing you at any point of time. This is Satyavastha. This has to be experienced, because anything adulterated into a substance is not Satyavastha. In water, if you mix something, is it the true status of water? No. It's not, no? In the air, if you mix something, is it the true status of the air? No. Same way, if you adulterate something in the true status of the Jivatma, is it truth? It's not the true Atma. It is not the true living form, life. No? So the thoughts, who are disturbing this? It is the thoughts which are disturbing this. It is thoughts which are creating the agitations in the mind. Whenever there is agitation in the mind, it is not the Satyavastha. That's true. What is the Satyavastha? It should be Shanta Bhava. Shanta Bhava in the sense where there is no agitation at all. Neither height of ecstasy, nor height of sadness, nor height of sorrows, nor this, nor that, nor that. That's what I said, emotionless. Can anybody remain emotionless? No. No Jivatma can remain emotionless. It is not possible. Except through the process of Dhyanam. In Dhyanam, one remains emotionless, no doubt about it. There is no anger. There is no jealousy. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, and attachments are not available during Dhyanam. If it is there, that is not Dhyanam. I am talking about the true Dhyanam, the right Dhyanam. And right Dhyanam, where there is absolutely nothing. There is no object, there is no subject. Since there is no subject, there are no emotions. Since there is no object, there is no attraction and attachment, possessiveness. There should be no object, there is no subject. So these attributes are there only when there is subject and object is there. Then only the attributes are there. When the mana is there, vichara is there, sharira is there, then only the attributes, the gunas are there. Otherwise, what is the use of sato, rajo, and tamo guna, where it is? Who is it affected? The one who are living in afflictions of these gunas are the one which is being affected too. The one who is above the gunas, not afflicted by the gunas, these are not affected. They are all functions towards those which are manifested world, for the manifested world. Only in the manifested world these tributes are there. These trigunas are there. These branches, tributaries are there of the guna. That's why tributes I said. The branches of the guna. Nirguna avastha. Guna is a classification, as impose a qualification attached to the mana sharira, through which it has to function. That is why the guna has been imposed on it. Whenever a guna is imposed, it is not Satyavastha. Even if it is Sato guna, it is not Satyavastha. To be the Satyavastha, experiencing the Satyavastha, there has to be a non-agitative Brahma Chaitanyam has to be there. Realization of the Brahma Chaitanyam inside has to be there. Then that's called the Satya Avastha. That's ultimate truth, what we call the absolute truth. What we call is that. But then, that even though I have told this for the purpose of your knowledge, so that you should not misunderstand the truth for something. This I have explained in previous, in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Ashtanga Yoga, even in Ashtanga Yoga where our Acharam has come in, that also Ashtanga Yoga we have explained in detail that we all think that, well, that's all one can do with that. Suppose you have seen something, you tell that exactly without any deviation, without any manifestation of that, this is what I have seen, is classified as truth. Yeah. That what has been heard by you, not manifestation upon that, not adding something, not deleting something, no, exactly producing that is called that truth. What this is what I heard. So, truth. This is what we understand. They are nothing other than the state of facts. These are facts, they are not truths, they are facts. Why it is not truth? If it has to be truth, that what you have seen should be seen from your higher consciousness. Then only you can explain the truth in that. That's called the truth. But that what you have seen based on your emotions, based on there is a proverb also. आंखों देखा सच नहीं होता है. That what has been seen by you is not the truth, may not be the truth, or is not the truth. आंखों देखा सच नहीं होता है. That means he's confirming it is not. It's not the truth. Actually, you see, that itself shows. You see, the proverbs are there. When you analyze the proverb, that what you have seen is not the truth. What have you seen? You have seen a manifested form. Manifested by your emotions, by your thoughts, by your intelligence, by your educational background, by your social background, by this background, that background, by your understanding. You understand every object differently. We all tried this in different classes. I used to make them practice this Reiki classes. One object shown to people, each one sees it as different object. Nobody has seen the truth of the object. They are all according to their own manifested thoughts, they have seen the object. So is it the truth? No. That's why I said fact. Fact is that this is what, according to me, I have seen. It's a manifestation, even though it is a manifestation. After seeing the manifested objective experience, I have not modified it from that. That's why, there are words in that. Factuals. In fact, what I said, there are so many ways that people say. In fact, what is in, when you say in fact, that means you are told something which is not in fact also. In fact, this is the position. So truth, we are all presuming these are all the misunderstood truth is what I am trying to tell. They are all misunderstood truth, that's not the truth. They are the facts. But then, for the Jivatma, for a person who is living in the world, in the society, in Grihastasramam, for him this is the way how he can approach the truth. at least to the extent possible, that even though it has been seen emotionally, even though, because each individual sees the object according to his own emotional status at that point of time. The same object, when that person sees the next time, his impression is totally different. Take it as an object which doesn't have life form or which has got life form. You see a mountain every day, every moment. You see, you have a different, even though in common you say it is a mountain, but every time you see that, you will get a different appearance of that. You will get a different opinion of that. Every time you see a lake or a sea, you get a different opinion of it. It doesn't give the same meaning always, because you are not seeing the truth. If it is the truth, you should have the same meaning at all times. You should have the same feeling at all times. Same way, you look at the individuals, persons, objects is one, individuals or animals or this, that, anything you take. You have different feelings. Your own people, your own close people, or people who are strangers, whoever it is, each one you look at them, every time you see them, you have got a different opinion about them, is it not? You have got a different emotion on them. Sometimes if it is love, sometimes it is not that much of love. Sometimes it is hatred, sometimes it is, no, it keeps on changing, is it not? Same person. If the truth that you are seeing, how can you change your meaning of that? When you see the individual, each time, each moment, each time, you have a different reflection on you. If you have a different understanding of it. Each object, when you see, you have got a different understanding of meaning of that. You are looking through your emotions. That means through a manifestations. So everyone sees through the manifestations. So you are not seeing the truth. Are you seeing the truth? Understood the truth now? It's the truth. You see, when I see a person, next moment when I see him again, I have got a different opinion about it, or different reaction to that. Sometimes you are very attached, sometimes you are not attached, sometimes you are hatred there, sometimes you have love, sometimes you have affection, sometimes you don't have that. The same thing, within a fraction of a second, one small word which is not pleasant to you can create a hate. The just opposite reaction to that. Where is the truth? Truth is neither in you nor in the object. What you are seeing, is it not? That means you are not seeing the truth. In you, if you have got truth, then only you can see the truth in the other. The tapasvi, maharshi, jnani, brahmajnani, when he looks at others, he can see the truth of that person. What that Jivatma is born for, what that Jivatma is undergoing as karmas, what that Jivatma is undergoing as kartavyas, that Jivatma, when will it get moksha, when it will not get moksha, how it has to get the moksha, each Jivatma has got its own. Everything can be seen by that jnani. Why? Because he is living in the status of truth, the Dhyanam, absolute Brahmajnana. That's why the Brahmajnanam is absolutely necessary. When in the Brahmajnanam, one is able to see the truth, means one can experience the truth. He is not seeing it, he is experiencing the truth of everything. Because he is in the truth, in the status of truth. So the truth, the Satyavastha, you have to understand, you have to be in that, the absolute Jnanam, where there is nothing more to know. That's called the absolute Jnanam. the Brahmajnana. When you are in that, you are able to see the Brahman in others. In the sense, everything is Sarvam Brahmamayam. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. In each and everything there is Brahma only. In each and everything the same Chaitanya is there. Each and every activity is conducted by that Chaitanya which is inside you. Each and every activity and each and every seeing, each and every experiencing is because that Chaitanya is there. Otherwise you will not be able to experience. Even your negative emotions that you are creating is also using by that Chaitanya only. So when you realize that Chaitanya is the one which makes me do all that, that is the Chaitanya, and when you realize, this is called self-realization. Who is the self? The self is that Brahma Chaitanya, nothing individual there. It's a common factor. It is not a special factor. It's a common factor. The self is a common factor. The self-realization of you and self-realization of me is supposed to have the same result of identification of the Chaitanya in me. That is the Satyavastha. When you reach that Satyavastha, then only you can tell the truth. If I can put it in the normal language, then only you can tell the truth, you can listen the truth, you can see the truth, you can experience the truth. Otherwise, all of them are similar to truth. That's called the fact. We come down to one step. It is a fact that I have seen. Now, whether it is true or not, that I don't know, but it is a fact that I have seen. There's a difference. It's a fact. It's not the truth. Even though in the court and all we say that whatever I say I will tell the truth only. Capability of seeing or telling the truth is not there. What happens? It gives an impression to the individual or the intellectual center, at least to the extent that what you are seeing, you don't have the capacity to identify the truth. If the truth is there, if the truth can be seen, if the truth can be experienced, if the truth can be told, if truth can be heard, no court, no administration, no police, or no discipline administration, nothing is necessary, isn't it? In your life, no problems will be there if you can see the truth. If you are in the status of the truth. Why the problems are coming? Because you are living in the manifested truth. Teacher, is why we have problem, we have misunderstandings, we have kashta, we have got dukkha. It's all because of the manifestation of the truth. That's why. Otherwise, if we are in the truth, if we can live the truth, if we can understand the, even if at least if we can understand the truth, there will be no kashta, there will be no dukkha. Kashta, dukkha is also a manifestation of the mind, because living in the status of the untruth. So, for a Jeevan, so you understood the basic principle of truth. This has to be known. This has to be understood very clearly. Then only we will not misuse our emotional status for the purpose of judgment. You make the judgments based on your thought of thinking that is the truth. That's why I always say that please do not do judgment, because you are not eligible to judge anything. No one who has not attained the Brahma Sakshatkaram or have attained the Brahmajnanam, he is not eligible to judge anything, anyone. Everything has to be experienced through manifested world, reaching the unmanifest state. Through the manifestations, we have to reach the unmanifest state. Everything has to be experienced. I told you, through the process of living in the fact, he reaches the status of identification of the truth at one point of time. Because his characteristic of mind, he is practicing. That's why this truth has to be practiced. Like lie is practiced. Truth has to be practiced also. How? When you teach the mind, how to tell the truth, somebody may ask. Tell the truth. Train the mind only to tell the facts. That's all what I can do. A normal person cannot understand what is Brahma Satyam. What is Brahma Dhyanam is not possible unless he does the Dhyanam and Samadhi. He will not be in a position to understand. Or constant listening of the scriptures. You see why I insist on, mostly I give more importance on making people the Shravana, because that's the beginning stage. Then the Dhyanam, okay. Mananam, then Dhyanam. Mananam is every individual's choice. This you cannot do. Shravanam, one can do, preach these things. One can tell them the truth. One can show them, one can project them, one can do, make them experience. Everything can be done. Manana has to be done by the self. That means the self capability should be there, or that initiative has to be there in oneself, that one has to do this. Just listen and do. Will not happen. Manana has to be done. Then only the Dhyanam can be done properly. That's the intention of the Shastras. Every Shastra says that make your mind toned up by listening constantly of the Shastra, so that the mind cannot think anything other than this. Now, what's the purpose of constant listening of Upanishad? In ashramas, in Gurukula, in ashramam, constantly the Guru teaches the disciple about the Tattva, Jnanam, Parabrahman, this, that. Constantly for years. The mind is totally oriented only seeing those things. So in everything he sees that. In everyone he sees that. So he becomes the Brahma. He spread himself all over the world. That's all. Because he can see everything. Constantly listening to Shastras and Manana of the Shastras. Then when he does the Dhyanam, automatically that what has been inculcated into the mind and the thought will only be projected during the Dhyanam. Is why this course changing of the thought is necessary. When the course changing takes place in the thought ceases. Because this is constantly the same. There is no change. There cannot be manifestation. But our thoughts are very intricate and indulging. Each time you think about it, you start thinking of something. Breeze. From the breeze, where will you reach, you know that? Starting from there. You can reach anywhere. From there it will go to, when I went to there, that breeze was very nice. When I came here, the breeze was not nice. Why it was not nice? Suddenly that not nice will attract you. Then we'll go to that incident of not nice. Then from that incident it will go to the individuals. From the individuals it goes to the objects. Then your mind will start discussing with that. Then you get into an argument with that. And you will reach ultimately where have you reached? Started from the breeze. you reached. The breeze has taken you away from the breeze. At last. It has become a storm inside you. You manifested the breeze into a storm inside you. Is it not? Anything when we sit and bolte bhi hai. We ourselves know it. It's not that new thing I am talking. Everybody knows. हम लोग बोलते थे कहाँ से शुरू किया कहाँ पहुँचा. हम बोलते सोचने लगा तो ये and manifested. अच्छा उसका तबीयत खराब है. तबीयत खराब मतलब क्या है? According to our own knowledge of medical science, is it? If I got little knowledge, I will say. People like me will say that it is only a flu. That's all maximum what I know. People who know a little more, seasonal flus can convert that into pneumonia because of the bacterial infection. A little more knowledge on the medical science will say that no, occasional tuberculosis. Now mind can take you. You don't know, you're not seen, you just heard. Is it not like that? Do we know? It can turn into this, it can turn into that. We keep on. Where the truth? Truth is God. Manifestations. So what happened? Why did I say that? That's why the changing of the course changing of the thought is necessary. The thought will take its own course depending upon your emotions and tastes and experience that you already have. If you do not have that experience, you will not think of those things. A man who doesn't know the medical science, he will not think on the medical science. Somebody says, oh no, अच्छा बीमार हुआ है तब एक काम करो, वो मंदिर में जाके एक पूजा करने से ठीक हो जाएगा. Because that is his experience. Another man says it is influenza, take medicine. Another man says go to mandir and do puja, it will become alright. Because that's where he is thinking. Whether one becomes alright or not is secondary. What I am talking now is how we are carried away with our experience. The course of our thoughts are decided by us. The course of thought is not by itself, because you already have a path created. There is a road already. You are only driving through that road, that's all. The road has been designed by you. How the thought has to travel through that road has been designed by you, so the thought goes on that. The course changing has to take place. The course changing can take place only because specific names of roads have to be changed. It has to be an open space. Where to go? Because when there is a road, then only I know I have to go through the road. Now there is no road, it's a completely open space. He stays in the space, which is the truth. Is the Dhyanam, Brahma Dhyanam. When you reach there, you are all over the space. Not on a specified thought. That's why I thought when I said about the course changing of the thought, changing the course of the thought. The pattern of the thought, how can it be changed? Only by you inducting and inculcating new ideas, new opinions, new contemplations, new establishing the factors, the thought form changes. When the thought form changes, you realize the Brahman. When you realize the Brahman, your thoughts, there's an established knowledge there. The question of thoughts influencing that knowledge will not come. Today you have ignorance, not knowledge, so the thoughts can influence you. Every time it changes its course, that's all. Sometimes it goes like this, so you go like that. Sometimes it goes like this, you go like that. Whenever the thoughts are changed, you are carried away by those thoughts which is manifested by you, created by you, manifested thoughts, manifested emotions, manifested knowledge, manifested intelligence. Will take you to the path. Automatically you move away from the truth. You are moving away not only from the truth, you are moving away from the fact also. You have to be stable. conscious. You want to tell the fact, you have to be conscious, you have to be stable. Dhairya. In Sanskrit, dhairya is not courage, or the physical courage. That's not it. Dhairya is that? What is that?
Patience.
Dhairya is patience. Patience in the sense, established fact of the static state of you. That's the non-agitative status. Mind when it is not wavering, dhairya. To be in that is dhairya. So to tell the fact, you should have that dhairya. That means you should have knowledge first of all. Then only the dhairya will come. Why should you manifest the fact? Fact can be told as the fact because it's not created by you. But a human nature is there. Now we have, of course, even though it is now, there is no harm at all, sometimes would happen. Our mind is such that now if we like it, we are telling the fact, there will be a fact. We will always exaggerate. You know, the flies are like elephants. The purpose of telling that is that you are telling that is very big. But what happens? Our mind has characterization of the manifestation of projecting it as in exaggerated way of it. You can simply say the flies are big. We know how much a fly can be bigger. But no, we have to impress upon through exaggeration that it's like an elephant. This exaggerated version we always quote in everything where we like. When we do the explanations, when we project it, it's okay, no harm. There's no harm. But what happens? Your mind is habituated of telling not the fact. How are you training? You're training the mind not to tell the fact. You are deviating, you are manifesting the fact. That is, you don't have the idea. Here, why am I what's it? What did I say? Exaggerating it? I do not have confidence in convincing the other person when I say it is a big fly. I don't have confidence in me. So to make me understand it is big, I am telling it is like an elephant. So the other man thinks that, oh, this fellow has to tell me that the fly is so big. And he can just simply say that the fly is big. He thinks, no, that is not enough. Actually, that is enough. They are big flies, that's all finished. Now let him imagine how big it should be according to his own manifestations. Why do you want to manifest for him? You understand what I am telling? You are manifesting for somebody else and he rejects it. Your manifestation has become remained a habitual manifestation. That means not the truth, not the fact. This is how we train our mind. You understand how we are training our mind? Unknowingly. Well, it's a common fact what I am talking about. But this is what the fly like an elephant is the one how we explain other things also. No, not only the fly. So when a serious thing is explained like that, it turns out to be a lie, not only not a fact. It turns out to be a lie. He's exaggerating to impress upon the other person. Impressing upon the other person should be left to him whether he gets impressed or not. You tell the fact. When the mind is trained to tell that fact, you are gradually stepping up towards the spiritual path, and then you will be in a position to easily transform yourself towards the truth. Now from this manifested exaggerated state of thought and path of your thought in your mind, how much time will it take to come back to the original situation? All these manifestations have to be released by the mind. The practicing of the mind has to be done. That is why the Shastras help us. That we say that, look, we are very tiny, not even a speck of dust size when you compare yourself from the Brahmanda or the universe. How big are you? People have gone to moon, from there they saw small, tiny. Earth is moving like that, like a tennis ball. We always tell this, to make one conscious. This is what we are. So fact is how we practice. So what happens? In fact, okay, fine. But truth is totally different. You have to reach the truth, status of the truth. Truth is that the true form of you is the truth. Very simple to understand, is it not? What is the true form of you? That Atma, that Jeevatma is the true form. All other things are manifested on top of it. We have all these proverbs in our normal language. You don't understand this. We talk every day, naked truth. Is it not? What do you call? Naked. Nakedness is the truth. When you put on the clothes, it's a manifestation, is it not? It's not the truth. You're hiding the truth. That's why the word has come. Naked truth. It's a naked truth. No, this word normally generally used. Why they call it as naked truth? All the manifestation, external manifestations and covers and paraphernalia, when you shear it off, the truth is revealed. The truth is there. Truth is revealed, is why naked truth. We use this proverb quite often. Exactly same. What's the truth? Truth is your Jeevatma. The true nature of your Jeevatma, the true knowledge in the Jeevatma is the truth. It's called the revelation of the truth. That's why revelation of the self. All other things are manifestations. Even the fact is a manifestation. But let us go to that manifest, like attributes are there in the Jeevatmas, like Trigunas are there. No, we have to follow the Trigunas. Why? Because we have got a Sharira, Sato, Rajo, Tamo Guna, we have to follow it. Why we are following it? Because we are in that status only. We have not reached the Gunatita status. Ultimately, after all this, traveling all through this, we have to reach the Gunatita status. But for that, from the Tamo to Rajo, Rajo to Sato, we have to travel. Certain combinations are there. This has to be, I told you about the combinations. This has to be there. Remember? In Sato also there has to be Tamo Guna, there will be little Rajo Guna. But Tamo Guna is prominent on that. Even in Tamo Guna, Sato Guna will be prominent, Rajo Guna will be there. So, what happens? Since we are Jeevatmas, since we have got a Sharira and Mana, we are in the Grihastasrama. Even though the truth is not understandable today, but let us at least travel through the fact and then be sticking to that, so that you will be training your mind to travel towards the truth. It's called the Brahman. What is that? Fact is that the function of the truth is to maintain the harmony through trust. The function of the truth is to maintain the harmony through the trust, is what it has been told. The truth can only maintain the harmony as well as trust, both. That what is there in the existence is that which is harmonious. To be harmonious with the nature, with the Prakriti. To be harmonious with the Brahmajnanam, you have to have the Brahmajnanam, then only you can understand the Brahman. Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. To be a Brahman, to understand the Brahman, You have to become the Brahman. Brahmavit, Brahma, the Brahmavit, Vidya. Brahmavit, Brahma Bhavati. In order to understand that, in order to understand the teacher, you have to become the teacher. In order to understand the king, you have to become the king. That means there is a small step down proverb. When you are in his shoes, then only you will know the difficulties of him. Or when the son becomes the grown up, then when he starts wearing your shoes or something like that, you have to be a friend to him. When you are in his shoes, then only this is what the proverb has come down. What is it? To be harmonious. What is the meaning of that? To be not that you're taking his shoe and wearing it. That doesn't mean that. We all know that. To be harmonious with that. That means the intellectual level, the thought level, the knowledge level has to be the same. Then one is a friend. The relationship changes there. There cannot be an instruction and there cannot be a following. There will be a discussion. Changes has to take place. Equality has come. That's why Bhagavan said about the Sakha Bhava. How can we? That's a fact, that's a fact. Now to perceive this, it is very difficult for the people to perceive it, They would like to retain that same status of fathership, grandfathership, or mothership, or grandmothership throughout. I told you some instance, I always tell that the son is retired from the armed forces. They retire at 55? No, 55 or 58, I don't know. The retirement stage. Mother is 85, 90. Still dictates authority on the son, saying that this fellow does nothing. कोई फायदा नहीं, बात नहीं सुनता है. It may be her motherly emotion. She retains from that the day he was born. Even though he's 60 or 55 or 60, it's still that the same status. The status has to change. That's called the course of thought, I said, has to be changed. We are static. We have no progress. You see, he has not progressed from that state. She has not progressed from that state. How can one attain the truth? It is not the fact, actually. So the harmony is what the principle being that the function of the truth is to maintain harmony through trust. Maintain a harmony. Well, harmony also has been stepped down. The original harmony is that to be harmonious with the Brahman, with the Prakriti, with the nature, with the truth. It's called harmonious. Then only you can rise above the level of the manifested Sharira and Mana to the level of the Brahma Tattva, Brahma Dhyanam. Okay, that's one part. Let us come down to lower conscious level. That's the higher conscious level. Lower conscious level, that through the trust, how do you create a trust? Through the facts being expressed is how the trust is created. No, he tells the truth. I will believe him. Because every time his experience of listening to him, he has been talking the fact. So a trust is created. Great noblemen, gurus, tapasvis and jnanis, they lead your life towards harmony through the trust. They advise you, from now, after 5 years, this will happen. So you should do like this, like this. Even after 5 years, you should do this, you should do this. You have to have a trust in him. But how you have created a trust? Being a disciple to the Guru, constantly listening to him, guiding you throughout. You experienced many things. Many things you did not follow, so you did not experience it. So whatever you follow, you experience it. Through that you created a trust. And through that trust, the harmony in your life has been found out. So the Guru, that's how we say the Guru leads you towards the truth. When you become harmonious to that, so when you say that, not according to your whims and fancies and manifestations you move, had you moved according to that, you would have landed in trouble. But if you listen to him, do this, that's all. Don't try to find out ways and means for modifying that. Just do it. When you do that, you will attain the result. Many people call it as a blind faith. I always say, any faith is blind only. No qualification of blind faith. Any faith is blind. When you have the trust, that's why learning to the harmony through trust. If he doesn't have trust, or if you do not have the trust, you will not follow it. If you don't follow it, you don't reach the harmonious state. When you reach harmony in the Grihastasrama, your system will get used to getting harmonious to nature, the Prakriti. Then you become harmonious to the Vanaprastha. Then you will become harmonious to the Sannyasa. Then you will become harmonious to the Brahmajnana, Layam into the Brahma, harmony to that. Your thoughts, that's why your course of thoughts have to be trained to be functioning for harmony. And harmony can come only through the truth, through the fact, and through the trust. Otherwise, no. It is not a compromise. It's not a management. No. It's not a compromise. Okay, I'll do what I say. It's not harmony. There is a resistance in you. Because of the fear, you are accepting it. Only because of the fear. Fear of not having proper status in the house, fear of not having the harmony in the house, fear of not achieving the result of the thing, whatever it is, that out of fear, that's why I said cowardness, not able to express that. Okay, certain times in Grihastasrama we have to become the cowards sometimes. It is necessary. Intentionally becoming a coward is not a guilt, not a problem, and will not take your mind towards different course, because the mind already knows which is the fact and which is the truth. So when the mind is traveling that course of thought, the thought is decided through that course, naturally it understands what is harmony. As we said, certain, depending upon the situation, certain adjustments that we are making, or management that we are doing, or compromise we are making, is only a deviation from the fact and deviation from the truth. No doubt about it. But this has to be clearly understood. Knowingly, one can have a modification of this in the Jivatma status, if there is no way. There are so many times it happens in Grihastasrama. We have to deviate the path. We have to understand. But what happens? A person who understands the truth or the fact, and he, for the purpose of the, even though materialistic harmony, not the spiritual harmony, even though for materialistic harmony, if one is trying to change the decision for the purpose temporarily, not permanently, temporarily, does not affect the course of thought, because the course of thought already has been trained to understand what is the fact, what's the truth. And this also knows by the mind that this is only a temporary arrangement in order to create a temporary harmony for the purpose of whatever it is, X, Y, Z. If this is understood, if this modification is understood by the mind doesn't deviate the thought from the practice that one has already established through. This is how you have to train your mind to be stationed in the fact. Be stationary in the fact. When situation comes, certain modifications knowingly have to be done, will be done, but not deviating the principle of the fact, but knowingly that I have to do this. Sometimes in Grihastasramam, a man is being unnecessarily beaten up, saying that he is the thief. Suppose you want to save him, just telling, even though it is you are deviating from the path. I am just telling an example. Just an example. Suddenly it came to my mind. And we know he is not at fault, but he has been misunderstood as a person and he is being manhandled. And we want to save him. At that point of time, even though the fact we know, I take a small change in that. I tell them he is not the culprit. Please leave him. It's a temporary change of status of the fact that I am creating to save a life which is not permanently habituated in me. It was only for that moment, that situation, for that particular case, and after that, that is finished from the mind. It is no more lodged or recorded in the mind to save the deviation of the path. But the fact remains that I stick to that fact which I did not know about him. I wanted to save his situation, so I did that, that's all. But I will not deviate from the fact of the fact. This is only a temporary deviation, bifurcation that I have made, but the mind is firm on the fact. So harmonious. This also can be called as a harmony, for the purpose of harmony. One has become a coward there. Certain small changes, deviations have to be done in the Grihastasrama to the fact and to the truth. That is why Patanjali said that sometimes telling the truth, if it is creating a calamity, a communal riot, sometimes with one telling the truth, it can create a communal riot. It can create a war between two countries. One truth, sometimes. So at that point of time he says that to save that situation, do not tell the truth or do not tell anything. Silence, if silence can maintain. Things like that. This is why Patanjali said use this. But the fact is fact. The truth is truth. Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita said truth is truth. Truth has to be told. Manifestation cannot be done in the truth. There cannot be any manifestation on that. The mind has to be practiced towards the fact, but certain deviations for the purpose of harmonious living, these minor changes can be done. They are known as white lie. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Ashwathama adayata narova kunjarova. Bhagavan also said another example there, you see, where you can slightly deviate for the purpose of this discipline. They are called as white lies. In English language, I think, what I know, they are only a slight modification to the fact in order to, but it is used exclusively for a particular. Now, Bhagavan has used it for a particular cause, and for a great cause of harmony. Otherwise, for generations, injustice will remain, adharma will remain. So for that purpose, not only for one year or one term of Pandavas and Kauravas, throughout the generations, after the generation of the generation, if the Kauravas win, there will be anarchy in the universe. That to stop it, Bhagavan said, a slight deviation is okay. But what happened was that slight deviation, when it is permitted, and today in Kali Yuga, only deviation is functioning. The fact remains. That's the word used, Fact remains, no fact is told. So, this has been told according to what I understand. So, to maintain, this is called the harmony. In order to reach the level of that truth, harmonious living is necessary. For harmony, we have to depend only on the fact. With depending on lies every time you have to change, it is not harmonious. Depending on if you are creating temporary harmony because of lies, now and then every time you have to keep on telling lies, it is agitated mind. It creates agitated mind. It doesn't create harmony. It doesn't create trust also. So, harmony through trust is called the purpose of the truth. A truthful person has power, for what he says comes to pass. And his word becomes law. A truthful person, the one who is sticking to the facts, the person who is truthful, ultimately truthful in the sense again, you reach the status of the level of the Brahma Satyam, Brahma Jnanam. That's why I always told number of times, while taking Upanishad classes, from the Upanishads, the Guru's teachings, the Upanishad, the Shastras, the Vedic science, they are all Brahma Vakya, Brahma Vani, Brahma Vakyam. That means that is the law. When he says this will happen, that will happen. That's the law. This you should do, you do that, you pass through that. That becomes the discipline, that becomes the law, that becomes the dharma, that becomes the jnanam, that becomes everything. The person who practices and reaches the truth, he reaches to that status, is the truth. Okay. So what is the truth in the higher consciousness has to be understood. In lower consciousness with deviations, even though with deviation should only be 1% or 0.5% or 0.1%. Deviation should not be 99% and fact 1%. That cannot be done. Deviation should be based on the fact, not the fact based on the deviation. Is it not? That's a principle. You pour water in the milk. In 1 liter you add maybe half a glass of water. Okay, no problem. No. Little manifestation is permitted. But 0.9 liters of water and 0.1 liter of milk cannot be called as milk. Same way, manifestation should be only to that extent to have the harmony. In order to in material science, in materialistic way of living, certain adjustments, certain harmony, materialistic adjustments have to be done. This in order to maintain the harmony. So to that extent, very little, negligible extent, to save the situations, certain things can be done, but your understanding should not change. Don't practice it. Practice only the fact. Practice only the truth. This is how it has to be done. So then only our Dhyanam becomes truthful and we are able to identify the truth. The renunciation can be done only that. When the manifestation is too much, we are not in a position to manifest, to renounce, and we are not in a position to attain the true status of the self. Satyavastha. In Dhyanam, we have to reach the Satyavastha. Then only you can go into Samadhi. Samadhi is the Satyavastha. In Dhyanam, we have to reach the Satyavastha. Not manifested way of thinking and understanding, and the course of thoughts had to be deviated and things like that. No. This is what is the meaning of the truth which I have not told earlier. I think you understood now? So it is difficult to explain the truth in lower consciousness as it is something which has to be experienced in the higher consciousness. This is the emotion. Om Shanti.